All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new movie review. I just saw this afternoon Jurassic World Rebirth, the newest film in the Jurassic Park franchise. And I'm going to talk about my feelings on this film and then give you a ranking of the films at the end of the video, as well as my rating on the film. Now, it was a very interesting experience. I went with my wife, and we were at a 1:30 showing at our local theater. And no joke, when the film ended, a good portion of the movie theater cheered and clapped. I haven't seen that happen in a film in a very long time. And for it being 1:30 in the afternoon, there were quite a few people at the theater. I wasn't expecting that. The parking lot was jam-packed. This movie is going to be making bank over the 4th of July weekend. I will tell you that. Now, going into this, all I wanted to do was be entertained. The Jurassic Park movies have been hit and miss depending upon what they're doing. And I wanted to go in and wanted to be entertained by the dinosaurs and by what I was seeing. And did that happen? Yes, it did. This movie was not the worst Jurassic World movie, and it wasn't the best. And like I said, at the end, I will tell you where my ranking is on this. Now, it's very interesting who wrote and directed this. We have Gareth Edwards, who is amazing at directing. And I'm actually shocked that he made this movie. This movie, you could definitely see his style in there, but the movie's not perfect. The writers were Michael Crichton, the guy who wrote the original Jurassic Park novel, and David Koepp, who also helped write the screenplay for the original Jurassic Park film. They're back for this film. We have three main characters in this. You have Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey. They are the three main characters. They're all on a mission to go to the island to get blood from three different dinosaurs that can help cure heart disease in millions of people across the planet. That is the basic storyline of this film. And that's great. Like, I had no issues with the plot of the film. It was entertaining, but the movie should have been cut down by about a half an hour. The movie moves too slow at the beginning, and it's not that I didn't enjoy what was there, but the pacing of the film was to me, it was just a little bit off. And what's crazy about this is they don't actually get to the island until an hour into the film. So there's a lot at the beginning that they could have sped up that they didn't need to get so deep into. Now, granted, some of it, there was a good portion of that part of the film where they're on the boat getting to the island. They had some pretty cool things happen, and they also throw in another family who's out sailing as well. They get thrown into all of this, and this is a direct sequel to all of the films. I mean, it definitely harkens back to the original Jurassic Park, and there are repercussions of things that happened in the last three Jurassic World films that do trail off into this. Now, at the end of the day, I don't know how this is going to trail off into more films, but I was totally entertained. I think if anybody is going to go to the theater, I don't think they're going to necessarily be fully disappointed, but I will tell you there are things in this film. My wife didn't like it nearly as much as I did, and clearly not as much as some of the other people in the theater did. But I will tell you that the main dinosaur, and before I get into this, I will tell you that they showed way too much in the trailers. Way too much. Because they show a lot of the island in the trailer, which leads you to believe that they're on this island for most of the movie, and they're simply not. And it would have been nice had that been the case, that they sped things along. Like I said, they could have cut a half an hour out of this, and I think this movie would have benefited greatly from that to get into it a little bit quicker. Because there's too much of a gap, especially at one point in the film, where there's really not a whole lot to do with the dinosaurs. It's more about the people. Now, there is one scene that was directly ripped out of something people have been wanting to see out of the second Jurassic Park novel. Michael Crichton was actually tapped to write that book because the studio wanted to make another film. So they asked him to write another book. And they didn't even use all of the materials that were in that book. Well, that iconic scene that people wanted to see is actually in this film. And I would say it's very entertaining, but there's a part of it that completely defies logic at the very end. My wife rolled her eyes. It was completely stupid and didn't make any sense. Okay? So if you go into this knowing that you're going to go on a ride with these individuals, you're going to get to see what their mission is, you get to find out about their backgrounds, I think you get to grow to like these three characters that are in it quite well. But all the other characters that surround them, you already know what's going to happen to them before it even happens. And there are a few things that they directly rip off of the original Jurassic Park film. They're almost one-to-one scenes, pretty close to it. And then the end with the final dinosaur, the big dinosaur that they don't show you a whole lot of in the trailer. The CGI on it was freaking horrible. Same with this kind of pet. It looks like a Tyrannosaurus. Not a Tyrannosaurus, not a T-Rex. I forget what you call it. Triceratops that the kid of this family ends up picking up kind of as a pet along the way. It was just bad CGI. Bad. And it amazes me that the original Jurassic Park came out like 30 some odd years ago, and today it doesn't look any better than it did in the original film. Now, there were some cool things that happened in this. There were some cool set pieces, some cool action sequences with some of the dinosaurs, but the T-Rex isn't in it nearly enough. And honestly, I think it would have been better to have this, be more about the dinosaurs than it was more about the people. That's always the complaint with these films. And what I did like about this film, though, what I really did like was the fact that it seemed like a natural progression with the story, because obviously there had to be an island where they did these experiments, and we never saw that really in the other Jurassic Park films. So I think that's why Michael Crichton got involved, as well as the original writer of the first film, because I think it makes it a natural progression in the storyline, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily executed the best way possible. So let's talk, and the music. Let's talk about the music real quick. They didn't play the Jurassic Park music nearly enough. This came off more as almost a horror film than it did a Jurassic Park film, especially with the way certain things play out. So some people are going to enjoy this. Some people aren't going to like it so much. I'm learning that the audience is just loving these Jurassic Park films no matter what. And so like I said, this isn't the best. It's certainly not the worst. So let me talk about my rating on this movie. And then I'm going to tell you where I rank it as far as the Jurassic Park films go. So if I had to give this a rating out of 5 stars, I'd give it 3. 3 out of 5, okay? Totally worth going to see. It's, if you just want to escape the summer heat, you want to go see a good film, something you're going to enjoy, this is that mindless popcorn, go see dinosaurs, go see people get eaten type of film, okay? But don't expect it to be a masterpiece. And I don't expect these movies to be a masterpiece. So I'm okay with that. I knew that going into this. So here's how I rank all the films. The original Jurassic Park film to me was top-notch. It's amazing even to this day. The music, just the action, the dinosaurs, it's still amazing to this day. For me, the second film that would be my favorite would be Jurassic World, the first one. I really enjoyed that movie a lot. I thought it had a great feel to it. You had Chris Pratt. You had the velociraptors that he was training. I think the end, when the velociraptor comes in to save them, is a great moment in the story. There's so many things about that first film and them turning it into a real, basically making the park that he had envisioned in the first film and it coming to fruition, and to see that. And at the beginning, just the carefree people, and then all the chaos that ensues. I really like that second film a lot. Then I would probably put Part 3 as my third favorite. This one would come in fourth. And then I would put the last Jurassic World film, the one that came out a few years back. I don't remember the name of it. The last two, I forget the names. And then I would do Part 2. And then I would do the second Jurassic World film. To me was just terrible. I didn't care for that movie at all. I thought it was nowhere near as good as Jurassic World. And that was the one I had the most issue with. But this one is pretty much smack dab in the middle. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It definitely has some issues. The ending. In fact, there was one thing at the end that I think they should have not resolved and should have led into another film, but they resolve it too quickly at the end, and I just didn't care for that. I thought some things happened at the end that were just happened out of convenience that should have led into another film, because honestly, with the way this ends, I don't know where they're going to go with it. But I did like the 3 main characters. I liked them a lot. Scarlett Johansson did a great job. And even though she was the boss lady and everything, she did well. She did really well, and it wasn't overbearing. It wasn't ridiculous. And they each played their parts the way they should, and you cared for each one of those 3 main characters. Everyone else around them, even the family that comes there, you feel for them because of what they go through as a family, but there's definitely one annoying character in there as well. And so it was a mixed bag, but I would definitely see it again. I will own it. I will add it to my collection. And so there's kind of my review on this film. If you guys have seen it, what did you think? Please let me know your thoughts below. It's a film just to go to the movies, go see it, have fun, and enjoy. All right, guys, we will see you on the next review.